Okay, so before we start, all right, so today we're gonna see the rest of the visual elements. So we learned line, shape and mass, light, texture and pattern, and space in the last class. And today we're gonna see the color and time and motion as the visual elements in art. So this is prism to see the color, the light's color range. So the science tell us that we cannot perceive color without light. So light consists of energy that travels in waves, much as the water forms waves. So the distance between the peak of each wave of this energy is its wavelength, which is a term from physics that measures light. So if white or normal daylight passes through a prism, we see that it is composed of constituent colors of light, which have different wavelength. So based on this, the colors from the light, so we can create this color wheel. So good morning. So we can divide the colors as three, like primary color, secondary color, and tertiary color. So primary colors are yellow, blue, and red. So these are labeled with number 1 on the color wheel. So they're called primary because they cannot be made by any mixture of other colors. And the secondary colors. So the secondary
I didn't know that.
Huh?
I said I didn't know that.
You know it? Very good. Then what's the secondary color? Here's the secondary color. So with the number 2, orange, green, violet. So each of the secondary color is made by combining 2 primary colors. So for example, when you mix yellow and blue, then you can create green color. And the tertiary color. So tertiary colors are labeled number 3. And these are the product of a primary color and a secondary color. So for example, when you mix one primary color, yellow, and one secondary color, green, then you can make yellow-green. That is called tertiary color. So let's talk about color properties. So any color has 3 properties: hue, value, and saturation. So let's see one by one. So hue is the name of color according to the categories of the color wheel. Like this: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, like that. And value. We saw the value when we learned light. So value refers to relative lightness and darkness. So we can see the reds, the lightest color, a very solid red color, and we can see the dark red color index in these boxes, and the saturation, or it is called intensity. So saturation refers to the relative purity of a color. So colors may be pure and saturated as they appear on the color wheel, or they may be dulled and softened to some degree. So there are two ways to see the colors by light and pigment. So one is additive color, and the other one is subtractive color. So let's see what these are. So the left one is additive color, and it is called RGB color. So as you can see, R means red, and green means, G means green, and blue is B. So it is a property of a color model that predicts the appearance of colors made by coincident components light with the distinct color. So RGB color uses for digital art or internet, TV, or the colors in your smartphone. So all the electronic devices using this RGB color. And subtractive color. So it is called also CMYK color. So C means cyan. This color is called cyan. And M means magenta. And Y means yellow. And K means black. So it is the kind of mixing you get if you illuminate colors filters with white light from behind, and as illustrated as LED. So CMYK color uses for all kinds of printings like t-shirt printing or magazine or book printings or product printings, label printings, all kinds of printing colors. They're using CMYK color. So now we are going to see optical color, optical effects of color. So there are two types of optical effects of color we are going to see. So first one is simultaneous contrast. And the other one is optical color mixture. So let's see what these are. So simultaneous contrast. So when there are two colors side by side, these colors interact with one another and change our perception accordingly. So for example, the most popular technique to use simultaneous contrast is complementary color. So when we see the color wheel and there are opposite colors, right? For example, yellow and violet, green and red. So these are the opposite size colors. So they are called complementary colors. So let me show you how to use complementary colors to for the simultaneous contrast in the work of art. So these are Vincent van Gogh's paintings. So he used simultaneous contrast for the optical effects of color in these two work of art. So look at the left painting here. So what did he use? What kind of color he used? in this painting? Which color he used? What's the color on the sky?
Blue.
Mm-hmm. How about the, seems like restaurant. How about here?
Yellow.
And
Orange.
yes,
Red.
yes, very good. And the streets colors, like, mixing with the, orange, yellow, and blue, right? So the blue in the on the sky, and the yellow lights with the vivid orange outdoor dining floor. So these are complementary colors. So by using complementary colors as simultaneous contrast, the image is stamped on the viewer's eyes. And look at the right image, the ceiling. What's the color of the ceiling?
Green.
Green.
How about the wall?
Red.
Red. And how about the floor?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Yes, yes, yellow and brownish yellow. That's right. So the green and the red also complementary colors. So Vincent van Gogh to use these complementary colors to make a simultaneous contrast in his work of art. So now let's talk about optical color mixture. So so colors can be mixed in light or pigment, but they can also be mixed by our eyes. So when small patches of different colors are close together, the eye may blend them to produce a new color. So pointillism is using this technique. So let me show you an example. So, so let's see the examples of optical color mixture. So the left box consists of tiny, excuse me, red and blue dots. And the right box has red and yellow dots. So now, a little bit stay away from your monitor, your computer monitor, and then let's look at these boxes with your eyes half closed, like this. So which color can you see in the boxes? A little bit stay away from your screen.
It making my eyes watery.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
So can you feel the colors are mixing in the boxes? Also, when you your eyes are half closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which color can you see in these boxes?
Purple.
Purple and
Orange. Red.
orange.
I see red. Yellow.
Yeah. Still, you can see the yellow and red separately. So when you see that boxes, then our eyes mix the dots, then your eyes create a new color like purple and orange. So that is called optical color mixture. So this is Georges Seurat's painting. So when you see his painting closer, you can see there are no brush strokes. And it consists of tons of tiny color dots. And all the colors in this painting are made by optical color mixture. So which means the green color made by mixture of other colors. So there's no green colors actually. And so this technique is called pointillism. George Seurat developed this technique in modern era, 19th century, as a post-impressionist. So these are all about the color as visual elements in art. So there is a video about this painting, how to make all the colors with the color dots. So please watch that video after the meeting. And now let's see the time and motion. So time and motion have always been linked to art. So during 20th century, time and motion truly took their places as elements of Western art. So through advances in science and technology, daily life became far more dynamic, and the nature of time and its relationship to space and the universe more a matter of thought. Excuse me. So there is implied motion like other visual elements. So we do not actually see the motion happening, but the visual clues tell us that it is a key aspect of the work. So, for example, this is a marble sculpture by Gian Lorenzo Barnini, who is a Baroque artist in 17th century. So there is no actual movement in this sculpture. However, the figures' poses are so dynamic and theatrical, so we could feel we are in the middle of the action. So that is called implied motion. And here's another example with the two-dimensional work of art. So, excuse me. This is a futurist artist, Giacomo Bella's painting, Dynamism of a Dog on a Leash in 20th century. So the artist tried to record all of the time and motion of the certain moment in one frame. So we can see a dog and a person is walking from this painting. So like this, there is no actual movement in the work of art, but we can feel a motion, then that is called implied motion. An artist can also communicate the idea of motion by creating an illusion of it. Artists create this illusion through visual tricks that deceive our eyes into believing there is motion as time passes, even though no actual motion occurs. So let's look at this work of art. So when you focus on a single point in the center of the work, it appears there is an overall vibrating motion, right? So this optical illusion grows out of the natural psychological movement of the human eye. And art that moves is called kinetic art. So from the Greek word kinetos, meaning moving, kinetic art is art from any medium that contains movement perceivable by the viewers or depends on motion for its effect. So any kind of actual movement piece of art is called kinetic art. So I will show you a video about the kinetic art. Looks so so much fun. Can you see the video, everyone?
Yes.
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 Yeah. Isn't it so amazing?
One of the reasons I get into
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
themselves, machines and how they work are amazing things.
How in the world they can do that?
Was to make that into something where I emphasize the motion and emphasize the patterns I was seeing in the machine. And that's what makes a good piece a challenge and also a lot of fun, is that there's a whole lot of engineering, there's a whole lot of design and making it do what I want it to do. I'm David Roy. I make kinetic sculptures. They are basically wooden machines that go on the wall. You wind them up and they create patterns and sounds and motion.
Professor, is that wooden or iron?
And very
Is
short.
it wooden or iron?
These are all the wood. Wood.
Wow.
Yeah, this is amazing, right?
I just sit down and I start sketching. Then I want to go see how the pattern's going to play out. I put multiples on the screen, I watch them, and we just get a feel for it. Will it work? I'm not sure. So you work on it a while, you get frustrated, and you try other things, and it can be months or even years, because it'll be a little breakthrough here that took 5 minutes, another one here took 5 minutes, but accumulation, it's been a long time before it all comes together into a final piece. This lever now is pulling on that string, just pulling on this wheel, just pulling on this lever, which releases the front lever, and now it's going to reverse direction and start the cycle again. Any questions? The restful thing that you get from watching a campfire, you're watching the flames, you're watching the screen, that kind of feeling is what I'm looking for. If it's a successful piece, in my view, you really have to sit and just have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or whatnot and sit and watch it for a while. I spend many hours doing that.
Yep. That is kinetic art, which is amazing work of art. All right. So, we have a discussion related to this chapter. So let's see what it is. So we just learned the color and time and motion. And one of the discussions by today is related to the color. So this is it. So how is color interpreted in different cultures? And do colors affect our behavior? And what are some of the scientific aspects of color? So search for your favorite color and give us a short summary of the psychological aspect of your favorite color. So this is today's topic. One of the topic to relate.
I don't understand.
Oh, you don't understand. So please just pick your favorite color and then research, your favorite color's meaning, or cultural relationship, or social meaning, something like that. And then do you think the color affects your or others' behavior? If you think so, then you can just write a statement about this. Do you understand that?
Yeah, where can I find that at? Because
Um,
I was having problems with the last assignment. I had to like do the quiz, and so I only submitted the one that.
the next chapter we are going to see is principles of design. Let's see what it is. Before we talk about the principle of design, we're going to talk about the composition in art first. So what is composition in art, everyone? What is it? Any ideas about the composition in art?
Is it arrangement?
Arrangement, very good. Yeah. And Ken?
Yeah, basically the scene like putting stuff together.
That's right. Very good. Yes, that's composition. So the composition is overall design or organization or arrangement of a work. Very good. So in other words, composition is the organization of all the visual elements within work of art. So artists design their composition using guideline known as this principles of design. So, so artists use these five principles of design when they create compositions. So first, unity and variety. And the next one is balance. And the third one is scale and proportion. And the fourth one is emphasis and subordination. And the last one is pattern and rhythm. So today we are going to see the first three principles of design: unity and variety, balance, and scale and proportion. So let's see the unity first. So unity is the sense of oneness. So things belonging together. And there are three types of unity. So first one is compositional unity. And the next one is conceptual unity. And the third one is gestalt unity. So let's see one by one. So, so an artist creates compositional unity by organizing all the visual aspects of a work. So there are three diagrams of the compositional unity. So although A is unified, but lacks of the visual interest of B. 1 second, someone is coming in. Okay. And while C is a unified work, it's a visual variety feel incoherent and chaotic. So basically, compositional unity means make a unity with by positioning the elements in a work of art. Okay. So so artists use the elements of art to create compositional unity. So we learned line as the one of the visual elements, right? And we learned three types of lines to show the motion and emotions. So the one was horizontal line, and the second one was vertical lines, no, horizontal and vertical, and the last one is diagonal lines. So these, each lines shows the different emotion and the movement. So let me show you an example, work of art. So which line the artist used to create this, the compositional unity in this work of art?
Diagonal.
Diagonal. Very good. Very good. Like this, lots of diagonal lines. So this painting's chaotic scene of shipwrecked man on a raft in the turbulent sea is unified by its strong composition. So the implied diagonal lines created by the man's dying bodies, the raft's mast, and the arms reaching out for the rescue from an X shape that provides a strong framework for the figures and heightens dynamic intensity. Let me erase this. Okay. So now let's see the conceptual unity. So for example, there are diverse images like this, and I set conceptual idea as full bloom. So I picked 3 images like flowers full bloom, cauliflowers full bloom, and the sea anemones full bloom. So it seems like there is no connection between these images, but these are conceptually united. So the conceptual links that artists make between symbols and ideas derive from the collective experiences of their culture. So this influences both the means that artists use to create unity and the viewer's interpretation of the work. So here's another example of conceptual unity. So there are lots of objects, what you can see in this box. What's the object you can see? What kind of object you can see here?
Rectangle, square.
Yeah, rectangle, lots of rectangles. And there is a bird, right?
Triangle.
Uh-huh.
Circles, spheres.
Circles, yes, circles. And there is a ball on the bed, right? So let's focus on this ball to understand the concept of this work. So where is the ball?
What you mean, like on the line?
Yes, on a line. The ball is in a rail. So, which means the ball can move in this rail, but it cannot go anywhere, right? Besides the rail. Then now let's see the bird. Where is the bird? The bird is in a cage, in a box cage, right? So the bird also cannot go anywhere. It can just move in this cage. So the bird doesn't have any freedom, and the ball, it doesn't have any freedom neither. So So the bird and the the yellow ball are conceptually united, in terms of the freedom. So that is conceptual unity. And the Gestalt unity. So Gestalt, a German word for form or shape, refers to a work of art in which the whole seems greater than the sum of its part. So basically, Gestalt unity means the repetition of the similar shapes in a work of art, like this. So that is called Gestalt unity. To make a unity, the artist can use the repetition of each shapes, like this work of art. And now let's see the variety. So variety is opposite meaning of unity. Variety is differences that provide interest and contrast in art. So in art, variety is a collection of ideas, elements, or materials that are fused together into one design. Variety can invigorate a design. So this example shows a composition of shapes set into a rectangle on a grid. So even though the grid structure is predictable, a variety of shapes and values counteracts the rigid structure. So many artists use this kind of variety of express an energy that would be lost if there were too much unity. So variety is the artist's way of giving a work of art a jolt. So unity is the sense of oneness, and variety is the differences in art. So looks like a totally opposite concepts. However, all artworks include unity and variety together. So let's see the examples, how they work together. So look at this painting by Jackson Pollock. So Jackson Pollock was an American painter and a major figure in the abstract expressionist movement. He was widely noticed for his technique of pouring or splashing liquid household paint onto the horizontal surface like a canvas. And that technique is called action painting, because he's moving his body to create a work of art. So now, can you find the unity and the variety in this work of art? So which factor can be the unity and which factor can be variety in this work of art?
There's a variety of different colors.
Very good. Different colors. Yes. How about unity? There's no unity in this work of art?
There is.
There is? What is that?
Mm,
Is it the way it's painted, like it's just all over, like everything is just...
It just feels right.
Perfect. Perfect. Yes, that is. So when you see the whole painting, now we can see the oneness by using same technique on the canvas. And we can see Pollock repeated splashing paint with lots of layers. So, but when you see it closer, and we can see the splashed paints, the paint colors are different, and the sizes and shapes are in random. The factors make the variety. The Pollock's painting has unity and variety at the same time. How about this work of art? What's the unity and the variety in this work of art?
It's variety in that everything is in its own box.
That's right. Yes. Yes. So the artist using the different parts of the body in, for the each frame. Very good. Now, how about the variety? I mean, the unity. Or you can say, other factors of variety in this work of art.
They're all like hanging by the string.
Uh-huh. So that can be unity. Anyone else? All right. So this work of art is using a conceptual art with text and photographs. So it repeats in the pieces of work. The factors can be unity in this work of art. And when we see the composition, it looks like very natural, right? So we cannot find the unity in the composition. And also the context art has different colors, and the photographs shows different body parts. So that factors can be variety in this work of art. So as you can see, the unity and variety are always together in a work of art. So that is the point. So when the work of art,
Don't come up here.
okay, so the work of art has the unity and the variety together, then that gives us interest and pleasure in the oneness. So now let's move on to the next principle, balance. So balance refers to an apparent heaviness or lightness of forms arranged in composition. So there are two types of balance in work of art. So the one is symmetrical and the other one is asymmetrical. So symmetrical balance is the mirror image of shapes or forms on either side of an imaginary axial dividing line. The elements correspond to one another in size, shape, and placement. So look at this pattern image. So there is a axial, vertical, the vertical axial. So on the center of this image. So the left side of the imaginary vertical axial correspond to the right side image. So this is called symmetrical balance. And here's another example. So there is imaginary horizontal axial on the center of this image, and the top part of the axial correspond to the bottom part. So this is symmetrical balance work of art. And asymmetrical. So asymmetrical balance is two sides that do not correspond to one another in size, shape, and placement. And generally, there are 6 types of asymmetrical balance. So the first one is that a large form is visually heavier than a smaller form. And number 2, the dark value form is visually heavier than a light value form of the same size. And number 3, a textured form is visually heavier than a smooth form of the same size. And number 4, a complex form is visually heavier than a simple form of the same size. And 5th one, 2 or more small forms can balance a larger one. And the 6th one, a smaller dark form can balance a larger light one. So let me show you the example to apply this, one of the types of asymmetrical balance. So this is Pablo Picasso's painting, Girl Before a Mirror in 1932. Can you guess which types of asymmetrical balance Pablo Picasso used in this painting? Let me show you the options again. So there are 6 options like this.
Dark form, light form.
Number 2.
Yes.
Correct. Yes. Yes. So the left woman and a woman in the mirrors sizes look similar, but the left one is bright and the right one is dark. So that is the second factor of the asymmetrical balance. Perfect. How about this? So this is the Gustav Klimt's painting. Can you guess which asymmetrical balance type Gustav Klimt used in this painting? So let me show you the options again here.
Number 6.
Very good. Number 6, small form, a small dark form equals light larger form. Yes. So there is a chunk of bright people on the right side, and there is a dark ghost on the left side. So which is occupying a small portion of the full image. So this is the last asymmetrical balance feature. Very good. And here is a tricky one. Can you guess which asymmetrical balance applied in this Oriental painting? You should use your creativity.
I want to guess is 3.
Number 3, the textured one.
Yeah, I just guessing.
It's close, but it's not the answer.
Let me see the pictures again, please.
All right. So you should use a whole the background to find the clue.
Complex.
Huh?
Complex.
Context. complex form, the number 4?
No, I think that's number 5.
Number 5, okay.
That's number 5.
And who's number 1?
Oh my.
Who's number 6? Okay. I guess all the numbers, came out.
So it's not 5?
It's not 5. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're not a good guesser.
All right. So I will let you know. So the one left top corner, on the left top corner, there are some object in dark, right? Which is very small portion in the whole painting, right? And the rest part is empty with the light paper color. Okay, I gave you all the hints. Which one?
Number 6.
Is it 6?
Yeah, you got it, Maria. Yes, it's number 6. So here is a small dark form, and the rest part is a light larger form. Very good. All right, let's move on to the next principle, scale and proportion. So scale is the size of an object or artwork relative to another object or artwork, or to a system of measurement. And proportion. So proportion refers to size relationships between parts of a whole or between 2 or more items perceived as a unit. So scale and proportion both have to do with size. And the scale of a work of art communicates ideas. Small scale pieces force viewers to coming close to experience the artwork. A small scale work implies intimacy. And large scale can be experienced by groups of viewers and usually communicate big ideas directed at a large audience. So let me show you an example to use the large scale. So this is David statue in 1501 to 1504 by Michelangelo. So he was one of the Renaissance master, and he was a rival of Leonardo da Vinci. So this is a biblical episode, and Michelangelo depicted David for his victory after a battle with Goliath. So Michelangelo's David looks like a hero and grandeur. And this statue is much larger than the life size. It's because Michelangelo used a monumental scale for indicating heroism. So like this David statue, scale can be used for showing a meaning in art. And this is palette of Narmer by ancient Egypt. So this is more popular as Narmer's pose. So this, the big guy is Narmer, so which is a typical of Egyptian art pose. So when depicting an important personage, the Egyptian artist strove to show each part of the body to best advantage so that it could be read clearly by the viewer. Narmer's body is seen in profile, and look at this leg. So the legs are in profile and the arms are in profile, but the torso is full front. And his head his head is in profile again, and his eye is front again. So the same pose recurs throughout most two-dimensional art in Egypt. So now let's focus on the size of this figure, the Narmar. So Narmar is obviously larger than other figures and the objects and the animals, So because Narmar is important figure in this work of art. So that is hierarchical scale. So artists can use size to indicate the relative importance of figures or objects in a composition. Almost always, larger means more important and smaller means less important. And let's see distorted scale. So this is René Magritt's painting. He is a Belgian surrealist artist. He became well known for creating a number of witty and thought-provoking images, and often depicting ordinary objects in an unusual context. And his work is known for challenging observers' preconditioned perceptions of reality. So now let's look at his painting closer related to the scale. So there is a room. Have you noticed something is weird in this room? Nothing weird?
Is on the bed. Is that a contour?
Yeah, yeah.
And the bed is small, and everything that is important is small.
That's right. That's right. The daily stuff are so giant in this room, right? So when you see the furniture, like the bed, closet, and the carpet on the floor, we can see that in this room. But the uniqueness of this painting is that the little daily stuff are depicted as a larger scale. This, comb, brush, cup, and soap on the floor. So that is called distorted scale. So in 20th century, many surrealist artists like René Magritte distorted the scale to create a supernatural effect like this work of art. And let's see the proportion for the last. The relationship between the sizes of different parts of a work make up its proportions. So by controlling these size relationships, an artist can enhance the express and descriptive characteristics of the work. Oops. So as size relationships change, the proportion change. So look at this example. A shows a profile of a Greek vase. And if we change the width like B, or if we change the height like C, the overall proportions change. So each of these vase profiles communicates a different feeling simply because the ratio of height to width is different. When the width is reduced, the vase seems elegant and light. And reducing the height produces the positive effect, like the vase seems clumsier and weightier than the original profile. And also, we can make a perfect, almost a perfect square in a circle shape with our body's proportion. And this is discovered by the Renaissance master Leonardo da Vinci. When you straightly open our arm like this image, and the left, the length from the left fingertips to the right fingertips is same as our height, and that proportion can make a almost a perfect square. And also, when you open our legs and arms with a certain angle like this, then we can make a almost perfect square. I'm sorry, circle like this. The last one we are going to see today is golden section. So the Greeks' interest in the use of mathematical formulas to determine perfect proportions has fascinated artists ever since. So one of the best known formulas is what has become known since the Renaissance as the golden section. So the golden section is a unique ratio of a line divided into two segments, so that the sum of both segments is to the longer segment, as the longer segment is to the shorter segment. So you can keep creating the same ratio in this golden section. So the result is 1 to 1.618. So this is Parthenon in Athens, Greece, constructed between 447 BCE and 438 BCE. So dedicated to the goddess Athena Parthenos, or Athena the warrior maiden. So this is the most typical architecture to use the golden section. All right, so we're gonna stop right here, and then we're gonna continue to see the rest of the principles of design next week. So we have a discussion related to this chapter. So I need you to go to the week 3, and then the next discussion is 3.2. So this is another topic by tonight. So please choose one of these discussion lists below and explain. Number 1, list 5 objects that represent formal or symmetrical balance. And number 2, list 5 objects and that are an asymmetrical and radial balance. And number 3, list 5 objects that are unity and variety. And number 4, list 5 objects that are scale and proportion.